What's going on, guys? This is Rob, and if you're enjoying the content here on my channel, then make sure you hit the like button and make sure you hit subscribe so you can help decide what direction the content on my channel goes in the foreseeable future. What's going on, guys? This is Rob, and I've been thinking for like the last week or so. I'm running on 3 hours of sleep, so you guys are gonna have to bear with me here. I've been thinking for the last little while. I've seen so many videos out there where people ask the question, if Doomsday fought Hulk, who would win? Like, who would win that battle? My question is, what would happen if the Incredible Hulk became Doomsday? Like, what would that whole scenario look like? How would things unfold? What would happen to all of the Earth's superheroes? That's exactly what we're gonna answer in this video. So typically, we would start this off by explaining who each of these characters are before we get into a discussion on what would happen. But I'm fairly confident that A, because you found my channel, and B, you clicked on this video, that you probably know who the Incredible Hulk is. So we're not gonna spend a whole lot of time explaining him. I mean, it's the Incredible Hulk, all right? He's the last survivor of Krypton, all right? His parents were shot in a dark alley. He went and became one of the best martial artists in the world, and he fights crime dressed as a bat. Everybody knows who the Incredible Hulk is, all right? It's not confusing at all. The Incredible Hulk, of course, is the Incredible Hulk. Bruce Banner turns into Hulk. He's giant, he's green, he smashes stuff. However, Doomsday, while not necessarily that obscure, is like a little bit obscure. And that's the funny thing about this. People know Doomsday by name, but they don't really know much about Doomsday. They know of him, but they don't really know a whole lot about him. So most anybody who's familiar with comics is probably watching this video like, I know who Doomsday is. That's cool. Bear with me for the people who don't. So Doomsday has been around since like 1992, and he was essentially just created because the people at DC had decided that they wanted to write the death of Superman, but didn't have an established character that they thought would make a believable foe capable of killing Superman. So they created a new character that would be able to take Superman off the board. Now, like Superman, Doomsday comes from the planet of Krypton, but he existed centuries before the Kryptonian race ever came to prominence. Doomsday actually began his life as a member of a species very similar to humans, being created in a lab by a scientist named Bertrand. And what Bertrand would do was basically take this child out onto the surface of the planet and then leave it to die. And then he would basically go back, he would grab the remains, he would bring it back into his lab, he would clone the child and repeat the process over and over and over again. And what this would basically do is rapidly evolve the child into something newer and stronger each time. So what ends up happening is that Doomsday actually does evolve in a very unique way, and that every time he dies, he would be reborn, immune to whatever had previously killed him. So for instance, if you cut off his head, then he would basically resurrect himself with his head intact and then be immune to decapitation from that point forward. How he would be immune to decapitation, I don't know. I guess maybe he would be immune to the material that decapitated him, which means you wouldn't be able to like cut his neck with steel. You'd have to use something harder. No idea. I'm just throwing stuff out there. It's comic books. Take it for what it's worth. Now, Doomsday's increased evolution has also resulted in a myriad of other powers as he has adapted to the harsh surroundings throughout his many lives and deaths, like super strength at a level equal or greater than Superman, limitless stamina, and the ability to survive without food, water, or air, nigh invulnerability, and a strong regenerative healing factor. Now, by this point, you're probably thinking, aren't those pretty much the exact same powers as the Incredible Hulk? Yes, those are almost the exact same powers as the Incredible Hulk. Doomsday and Hulk have incredibly similar power sets, which is why so many people want to see them fight one another. But the key difference here is that Hulk does not have the ability to adapt his power set to meet his needs like Doomsday does. Because of the evolutionary experimentation done on Doomsday, he not only is able to come back to life immune to what killed him, but can also develop new powers based on the opponent that he's fighting. For example, when Doomsday fought Martian Manhunter, he gained the ability to breathe fire due to Martian Manhunter's fear of fire. So, were the Hulk to become Doomsday, not only is he going to have immense strength, durability, and healing, along with an infinite level of strength, he's going to be able to adapt to the strengths and weaknesses of any opponent he faces. So the first thing we have to do is figure out how the Hulk would become Doomsday. And fortunately, comics have provided us with a pretty convenient solution here with the form of the Doomsday virus. So, as it turns out, Doomsday actually emits spores from his body that can transform those they infect into beings like Doomsday. So this makes the most sense to be the catalyst for our story, as we don't have to come up with an overly convoluted way for Hulk to transform into Doomsday. Now, I think if anyone in the Marvel Universe was going to go about acquiring the Doomsday virus, it would be the Weapons Plus program. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, the long and short of this is that the Weapons Plus program is the program that bonded the adamantium to Wolverine's skeleton and gave Deadpool his healing factor and ran all sorts of experiments on people in the hopes of creating the perfect super soldier. If you want a more in-depth explanation about Weapons Plus, go check out my video on the X-Men in Phase 1 when we talk about like the Wolverine movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That goes into probably the most comprehensive explanation of how the whole whole Weapons Plus, Weapon X thing works and all that kind of good stuff. But in recent years, and when I say recent years, I mean like within the last year, the Weapon Plus program created a hybrid of Hulk and Wolverine called Weapon H. So they definitely have an interest in using Hulk to accomplish their own goals. So how I see this going down is that the Weapon H program kidnaps Bruce Banner and puts a device on him that keeps him from turning into the Incredible Hulk. Once they have him back at their headquarters, they put him in a containment cell made of some kind of unbreakable material and inject him with the Doomsday virus while also taking off the dampener, preventing Banner from hulking out. Then the inevitable happens. Bruce Banner transforms into the Hulk at the exact same time that the virus begins to take effect, which results in what everybody who bought the hypothetical comic came to see, a Hulk covered in the ridiculous bony protrusions that cover Doomsday. And of course, this Doomsday Hulk hybrid quickly breaks out of the supposed unbreakable cell that he's being held in and kills all the people inside the Weapon Plus compound because Doomsday has literally no chill and has no regard for human life. And then he sets out on a rampage across the country. We're gonna call him Doom Hulk. Oh, dude, I love that name. Doom Hulk. Yes, Doom Hulk. That's exactly it. We're gonna call him Doom Hulk. The only alternative is to call him Dulk, which would be kind of funny. And I feel like you guys would pick Dulk just because it sounds funny. But I think Doomsday Hulk, I think Doom Hulk is like a much better name. I think that's a much cooler name. So when you have a huge Hulk covered in bone protrusions terrorizing the country, it's not gonna be long until the military responds and tries to eliminate the threat. But of course, their attempt is in vain as Doom Hulk is practically impervious to all their conventional weapons. So naturally, anytime conventional weapons fail, the heroes of the Marvel Universe have to intervene, and they immediately know that things are going to go south really quickly if they engage the Hulk here, as they are quite familiar with how big of a threat the Incredible Hulk is, and obviously this is not the normal Incredible Hulk that they're used to dealing with. So the plan that the heroes come up with here is that a team is going to be deployed to face the Hulk, face Doom Hulk, while another group of the smartest heroes like Reed Richards and Tony Stark stay back and try to figure out a way to take out Doom Hulk. Of course, the best asset to have in this scenario would probably be the mind of Bruce Banner, since he's not only a genius, but obviously understands the Hulk better than anyone else, since like he's the Hulk. But unfortunately, he's busy destroying a city as Doom Hulk, so the rest of the heroes will just have to figure it out without him. Now, what we're gonna find out here is that this is going to go extremely poorly for the heroes that go out to fight Doom Hulk. I mean, not only are they gonna have to contend with his immense strength, speed, and durability, but they're gonna find themselves unable to harm Doom Hulk at all. And they're gonna find this out pretty quickly because they're gonna get wrecked. I mean, like Wolverine would likely be able to cut Hulk with his claws, but then the Doomsday aspect will kick in and it'll adapt, which basically means that Wolverine's not gonna be able to cut him with adamantium anymore. How that works, I don't know. It's comics. Take it for what it's worth. What we're also gonna find out is that like the Human Torch can blast him with a supernova level blast of fire, which are insanely hot and insanely powerful, equal to the temperature of the sun if he pushes it far enough, but then Doomsday will withstand it and then make himself flame retardant. So everything the heroes throw at Doom Hulk is gonna be completely ineffective. And at this point, if we really wanted to go dark with this story, we could, since Doom Hulk would like definitively be able to kill anyone who's facing him. And since this is an alternate reality continuity story, and since this is my story, we can just go ahead and say that the first wave of all these heroes like Wolverine and Human Torch, The Thing and Luke Cage, Captain America, especially Captain Freedom, we can just say that they're all gonna meet their demise at the hands of Doom Hulk. He's just gonna kill them all. So Stark and Richards, because they're so brilliant and because they just sent a ton of their friends to meet their demise, realize that they're going to need some really heavy hitters. So they're gonna call in everyone they can think of, like Doctor Strange, Thor, Hyperion, and even the Sentry to battle Doom Hulk, and initially, they're gonna fare better than the first wave of superheroes. But as Doom Hulk begins to adapt to their powers, he's able to turn the tide of battle in his favor pretty quickly, and even take out most of his opponents, leaving only the strongest of them, the Sentry, to stand against him. Now, Stark and Richards come to the grave realization that something drastic is gonna have to be done, and they decide that they're going to have to blow the Hulk up, even though their friend Bruce Banner is inside, because he's just going to be too much, there's gonna be too much death and destruction, and nothing else has been able to slow him down. The problem is, they don't want the bomb to just kill a whole bunch of innocent people. So Iron Man suits up to join the battle and lead Doom Hulk out over the ocean, because he's adapted his physiology to have the power of flight by now, before Reed destroys a bomb and then the bomb blows Hulk up harmlessly over the water and yada yada yada. So when Iron Man gets there, Sentry's just kind of like, hey man, look, I'm really crazy. Fans hate me because I'm just like one of the many ripoffs of Superman. They call me a Mary Sue, even though they misuse that phrase all the time. So I believe I should be the one to take the Incredible Hulk, take Doom Hulk over the ocean, and I'll just die with him and rid the Marvel Universe of my existence. And so Iron Man's like, hey man, better you than me. And so that's exactly what happens. We end up having the Sentry fly out over the ocean, Doom Hulk follows, and then Reed launches this massive antimatter bomb, whatever you want to call it, powerful enough to destroy Doom Hulk, which results in both Doom Hulk and Sentry dying. And so the story would end with the heroes being really upset that the Hulk managed to kill so many of their friends and teammates before they were able to take him out. And of course, they're upset because Bruce Banner is basically dead yet again. But hey, at least they never have to worry about Doomsday Hulk again, right? Like Doom Hulk, they don't have to worry about him, except that they do. We know that he'll be coming back and he'll be immune to the bomb that blew him up. And so the final panel would show Doom Hulk like coming out of the ocean. He'd be all like pissed. The bomb did something to him and like irradiated him. So he would come out looking like Maestro Hulk, plus like with all the Doomsday bones and stuff in him. He would look menacing as hell. Like he would look like he just stepped out of somebody's nightmares. Doom Hulk kills the Marvel Universe. That's going to be the next video that we're going to make out of this. But that's how I imagine this story happening. That's how I imagine it going down. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. If you are new here to Comics Explained, make sure you guys hit the sub button to become part of the Rob Corps. If you guys enjoy this video, make sure you drop a like, and I will catch you all later. Peace.